Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. As we all know, the NFL offseason is always a roller coaster. And right now, in the Steel City, there's a palpable buzz about what the Steelers are up to in these final days before the season kicks off. After their last preseason game, the focus has shifted entirely to those critical roster cuts and the battles that have played out during training camp. And let me tell you, the decisions that are being made now are some of the toughest in recent memory, with the coaching staff and GM Omar Khan weighing every move carefully to put together a roster that can not only compete but contend for another deep playoff run. The Steelers, as always, have a few spots up for grabs, and it's not just about filling those spots but doing so with players who can really make an impact, whether that's on offense, defense, or special teams. The preseason has been a revealing glimpse into the talent pool, especially the young guys who have stepped up and shown flashes of potential that could make the difference in close games. But here's the catch. Just because they've played well in preseason doesn't mean they'll be staying with the team. Some of these players might be playing their way into trades or landing spots elsewhere in the league, which makes this final roster cut period so fascinating for Steelers fans. One of the most talked about areas is the tight end position. Pittsburgh has really built a deep pool of talent there, especially with the addition of Jonnu Smith earlier this summer. Smith, a veteran with a lot of experience, has added versatility and a reliable set of hands to the roster. But perhaps the most exciting story here is Darnell Washington. The third-round pick has really started to turn heads, and not just among Steelers fans. He's quickly become a fan favorite because of his impressive physical tools and his growth as a pass catcher. Watching him develop over the preseason has been a joy. He's shown a much better all-around game than many initially expected, and his ability to catch passes in traffic has been particularly impressive. Washington's rise has led to some NFL insiders wondering if he's actually on the trade block. Now, I want to be clear, this doesn't mean the Steelers are actively shopping him for nothing, but Omar Khan has been known for his shrewd trade negotiations. If the right offer comes along, say, for an upgrade at a different position or a valuable draft pick, it's plausible that the Steelers could consider moving Washington. They don't want to give him away, especially considering his potential, but if there's a chance to bolster other areas of need, this could be the move. Especially with Jonnu Smith already on board, the Steelers are in a position where they could leverage Washington in a trade to improve the roster overall. Speaking of roster battles, the punter position has been surprisingly competitive. Cameron Johnston, who was brought in last year, seemed like the favorite to keep his spot after a solid season. Unfortunately, he suffered a season-ending injury in Week 1 last year, which opened the door for Corliss Waitman. And Waitman has really stepped up. The preseason has been a hard-fought contest between these two, and both have shown they belong. Johnston has the experience and a notable name. He's a former free agent signing with a reputation for consistency. On the other hand, Waitman has capitalized on his opportunity, delivering a strong campaign and making it a real competition. Now here's the interesting part. If the Steelers decide to move Johnston in a trade, they could save a significant amount of cap space, around $2.5 million, which could be crucial for other roster moves or signing additional depth. Johnston's name has been floating around as a trade candidate, and given the NFL's transactional nature, it wouldn't be surprising if the Steelers explore that avenue. But it's a gamble. They trust Waitman, and he's earned his spot with some impressive preseason punts. Still, if Omar Khan finds a good trade partner, Johnston could be on the move, and Pittsburgh could get some value in return. Another intriguing storyline involves the quarterback position. Will Howard's injury was unfortunate, no doubt about it, but it opened an unexpected door for Skylar Thompson. The Steelers' fourth-string quarterback has seized the moment during the preseason, showing a lot of promise and earning himself a roster spot. It's a classic case of adversity creating opportunity. Unless Pittsburgh decides to place Howard on injured reserve, something that would cost them a roster spot, Thompson has a real shot at sticking around, or even being traded if the right deal comes along. The NFL is all about specifics and timing, and with a late-round pick or a pick swap on the table, Omar Khan might be able to turn this situation into a value pickup for the team. What makes this even more interesting is how the injury to Will Howard has now given Thompson a platform to showcase his skills. This could be the kind of performance that pushes him into the spotlight and possibly makes him appealing to other teams in need of quarterback depth. The Steelers, of course, have a strong core, but the quarterback battle is always a delicate one, and every preseason snap counts. Then there's the matter of Beanie Bishop, the slot cornerback. The preseason hasn't been kind to him in Pittsburgh, and with the emergence of other veteran players, the roster spots are filling up quickly. Bishop has some starting experience, which initially made him a candidate to stay on the 53-man roster. But with the team exploring options, including possibly trading him to upgrade elsewhere, it's a real possibility he could be part of a deal. The Steelers have shown a willingness to move some of their depth players if it means improving key areas. But the odds favor Bishop staying unless an appealing trade offer comes along, which would be a smart move if it nets the team a better player or draft capital. And let's not forget the broader picture here. The Steelers, as always, are balancing immediate needs with future flexibility. They've built a roster that's competitive, but every year, especially with the AFC North, so stacked with talent from teams like the Bengals, Ravens, and Browns, you have to be shrewd with your roster decisions. The emergence of younger players and the possibility of trades show that Omar Khan and Mike Tomlin are thinking long-term while trying to maximize their chances in 2023. Looking at the bigger picture, the Steelers' season will hinge on a lot of factors. The defense, led by their core veterans, is still a formidable force, but they need to keep that unit cohesive and healthy. Offensively, Kenny Pickett's continued development is key. If he can take that second-year leap and connect with the likes of Darnell Washington and other playmakers, the Steelers could have a potent attack. The addition of Jonnu Smith, with his versatility and experience, is a big piece of that puzzle. The offensive line, which has seen some shuffling, will need to gel quickly. Protecting Pickett and creating running lanes for Najee Harris is vital. Harris himself is entering a critical year. If he can stay healthy and find consistency, he'll be a central figure in the Steelers' offensive scheme. And on defense, the Steelers' pass rush and secondary need to continue their strong play from last season. With players like Minkah Fitzpatrick and TJ Watt leading the charge, they remain one of the top units in the league, but depth management will be crucial. Now, the AFC North is no joke, as everyone knows. The Bengals, with Joe Burrow and that explosive offense, are always a threat. The Ravens, with Lamar Jackson, are dangerous both on the ground and through the air. The Browns, with their revamped roster, are also in the mix. So every roster move, every cut, every trade matters. And the Steelers are definitely in the thick of it, trying to find that perfect blend of experience, youth, and strategic moves to stay ahead of the pack. Keep an eye on how the roster shapes up in these final days. The decisions made now will ripple through the season, affecting how well Pittsburgh can compete for a playoff spot, and hopefully, another Super Bowl appearance. The team's culture under Mike Tomlin remains strong. He's always been a master of maximizing talent and fostering that Steelers' grit and resilience. It's that same culture that keeps fans optimistic, believing that with the right moves, this team can contend once again. In conclusion, the Steelers are in a fascinating position. They've got talented young players like Darnell Washington who could be game changers, experienced veterans like Jonnu Smith, and some tough decisions to make at key positions like punter, quarterback, and cornerback. Every move they make from now until final cuts could define their season, and that's what makes this roster cut period so exciting for Steelers fans. The anticipation of who stays, who goes, and who might be coming in via trade keeps the energy high. This team has the talent and the leadership to make a deep playoff run, but it all depends on those final, crucial decisions in the next few days. So, fans, stay tuned, because the next few days are going to be intense. We'll see some surprises, some strategic trades, maybe even some late-night deals that could reshape the roster and set the tone for the season. The Steelers have a rich history of overcoming adversity and coming out strong, and this year looks to be no different. The passion, the pride, and the resilience are all still there. The Steelers are gearing up for another season, and all eyes are on those final roster decisions that will determine if they can contend once again for that coveted Super Bowl trophy. pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on all these roster moves? Do you think Omar Khan is making the right calls? Are you excited to see players like Darnell Washington get more opportunities, or do you think some of these trades are risky? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news. This team is always a work in progress, and with every decision, we're one step closer to understanding what this season has in store. Thanks for sticking with me, and as always, hail to the Steelers.